You're hearing Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Thank goodness it's Friday. I don't think I could take another. Wait a minute. It's not Friday.
Usually you double check these things, Paul.
Well, I do on Friday because I never want to mess that up, but it's Monday? It's only Monday? There's been so much news happening in the last 3 days that I have a week's worth of stuff to talk about.
The last few hours, I mean...
A guy trying to blow up a federal building. People complaining about Madonna not really performing and Shakira lip syncing. And I mean, the really important stuff. Whatever. The worst kept secret anywhere. The non-surprise that Michigan AD Warde Manuel will be gone. That's shocking news that everybody knew. Now, Mike Cox dropping out of running for governor. Nobody knew that. At least I didn't. Did you?
No, we had him on last week, and I believe he was scheduled to be on with JR Afternoon because they've been doing those one hour forums. So I think it was a shock to everybody.
Yeah. You know what the problem is here? I mean, besides many, fewer and fewer choices and such. Voting has already begun. Early voting has begun. So what about all those people who voted for him? Do they get a do-over, or are their votes wasted?
Well, that's a good question, because I know when Mallory McMorrow dropped out, there was a way that someone could go to their local clerk, spoil their ballot, and get a new one. I don't know kind of when that threshold's over. I don't know
either.
Yeah.
It should happen again. These people should have a vote that counts. You know, it's not their fault. They voted for somebody possibly that dropped out. And more news, cyclospora over 6,000 and counting in Michigan. And then we find out, I saw this at like 4 this morning, 3 o'clock this morning. Whoops. The FDA now saying, whoops, that was a false positive on Taylor Farms iceberg lettuce. So there's a big lawsuit coming.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We spent the whole weekend thinking that this cyclosporiasis came from Taylor Farms.
Right.
And, I mean, shouldn't they recheck this before they make a public statement?
I have no idea how you can, on a story this important and this big, report one thing and then a couple days later say, whoops, we had a false positive. What in the world does that mean, a false positive anyway? It either shows that there is cyclospora available in that lettuce, iceberg lettuce from Taylor Farms, or it doesn't.
Well, and then does that mean that we're not any closer to finding out where this came from?
Well, it sure seems that way, China. It sure seems like it. We have no idea where it came from, China. I have no better answer. I have no better answer. All I know right now is on the fact that we are, as always, on a couple of our social pages, we are running the video, but you're locking. I'm not locking on the video that I'm looking at, but you are locking. And like you just said, but nothing moved in your face.
Wow.
Nothing. It didn't move when you went, wow, either.
I'm practicing my ventriloquism.
Well, you're doing a very good job of it. All right. I don't know what that means. How about this one? It's endless today. It does seem like Friday.
You know, Paul, I try my best to get us the most up-to-date show possible. And there's some days you just throw your hands, but like, it's too much going on.
Well, there is too much going on. How about this Mamdani moron? Can I still say moron?
Weren't you supposed to say bozo? What was the other one, Daniel?
Well, I can't say stupid anymore. But this bozo Mamdani.
Oh, genius.
This genius Mamdani who has beautifully pulled the wool over a lot of mostly young people's eyes, now threatening to arrest Netanyahu when he comes to New York. First of all, he has no authority and no business, and there's no reason for him to be in that position to say it, except this. Imagine if a mayor of a big city is able to arrest the president, prime minister, whatever, of a country. Look at the wonderful door he's opening so that other countries that hate Donald Trump can arrest President Trump when he goes to those countries. Do you understand the setup here? Mr. Mondani, you're not that smart. You're pretty stupid and obvious.
Is Netanyahu planning a trip to New York? Is this just hypothetical?
No, he's coming to the UN. That's a big thing to start doing. We've had butchers at the UN. We've had people that were just openly murdering their own people. And we didn't try to arrest them because it's the United Nations, and that's not what's done, generally speaking. But of course, the whole world is changing, and the communists will take over, and people will see. Unfortunately, we will all suffer while the kids learn the lesson they never learned in college because they were being taught by socialist professors, that it doesn't work, never has, never will. But we're going to pay the price. Well, maybe we will, maybe we won't. So Madonna, Justin Bieber, BTS, Shakira, and the first ever FIFA World Cup final halftime show. What did you think of it?
I thought it was a lot of fun. It was cool to see the Muppets play Seven Nation Army.
Yeah.
I've got nothing against Justin Bieber. I think his part went out a little bit too long. I understand kind of like changing up the pace, but I feel like letting him do a full song that was that slow kind of killed the momentum a little bit. But
interesting thought. Yeah.
Overall, I thought it was a lot of fun.
I did too. I thought it was all great. I was happy to see Spain win. Why? Why was I happy? Because I'm taking a bunch of WJR listeners to Spain next month. And won't it be fun to be in the winning city of the World Cup? Because they'll still be celebrating, and you'll be able to buy all kinds of stuff, with the World Cup logos and everything.
Right. Good icebreaker, too, to any of the locals that you meet.
What's that?
I said good icebreaker, too, for all the locals that you meet. Hey, congratulations on the
being
World
able
Cup.
to say.
I was rooting for you guys the whole time.
I was pulling for you guys. I'm so glad. All right, let's see what I say. JD and Usha Vance have their fourth child, a son. Glad it worked out well. Canadian wildfire smoke hits Michigan in peak tourism season. It's costing us because I'm being terribly affected. So was Kim, of this smoke. I mean, it's bad, but I do think Canada has to do something about it, but I don't think that the United States should be threatening them. I think the United States should be helping them put the fire out. If they had a horrible earthquake or hurricane, we send aid. Why can't we send aid to Canada to help them put the fires out before we start talking about whatever the president was talking about, going after them for doing this?
Right. At this point, finger pointing doesn't do anything. Like my mom said, I don't care whose fault it is. We just need to clean up the mess.
We need to get it cleaned up. 30 boats dropped out of the Mackinac race due to harsh winds and waves. And the one I asked you to pull for, Freedom, with our own Ray Templin being on that boat, they had some kind of a mechanical issue, I think the first night, and they dropped out of the race.
Right, but everyone's okay.
Everybody's okay. I don't know who won. I'm assuming it's over and that the winner is in and all of that. But
when Ray comes back to dry land and back to work, we can talk to him about it.
We'll ask him about it. Yeah. And we're going to find out from the inside outside guys, what is this smoke doing to if you're fortunate enough to have air conditioning units and such, what is this smoke doing to those units? What do we need to do to protect our homes and our appliances that have been breathing in this schmutz for days now? Ridiculous amount of time. We'll cover that as well. Got a lot going on. It does seem like a Friday, but it's just the beginning of the week. It's Monday on WJR.
enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Detroit, go all in for Tigers baseball at Comerica Park. Place your deposit today for next season, and you can score a complimentary game for the 2026 season. As a member of the 1901 Society, you'll enjoy exclusive access, unforgettable baseball experiences, and perks available only to members. See every pitch, every home run, and every big play from the best seats in the house. Don't miss your chance. Visit Tigers.com/deposits and place your deposit today.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Like many of you, I got LASIK surgery back in the 80s, and recently I started having trouble seeing, and it turns out they never told us LASIK doesn't last forever. So now what? Glasses? I haven't worn glasses in years, and I'm as vain as the next person. But then I remembered Mariana and the staff at Direct Optical Optique and how great they were at finding cool frames that look good on me, because they are frame stylists. You can't get that on the web or a big box store, and nobody has a bigger selection of designer frames than Direct Optical Optique. And Mariana still knows everybody by name. She's still selling cool glasses, one pair at a time, with a very personal touch. So if you wear glasses now or are wearing them again, you got to go to Direct Optical Optique and let them treat you like a star. They're the only ones who can do that. 2 great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple in West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to IKEA. OptiqueDetroit.com on the web.
And now a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you can save at Progressive.com.
At Average House Furniture Warehouse, our sofas have cushions, our tables have 4 legs, our recliners recline. So come on by for a perfectly average experience.
Cumulus Digital doesn't stop at average. We work with more than 4,000 local businesses every month, delivering campaigns that beat industry averages by over 25%, driving real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Emergency vehicles blocking your right lane on I-696 westbound at DeQuinder. Traffic is stopped from 11 Mile. We also have some construction blocking your 2 left lanes on the northbound Southfield Freeway between Warren Avenue and Plymouth Road. You're slow from Ford Road, and steer clear of a wreck on Schaefer Road north of Ford Road. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Still have an air quality alert in effect until midnight. Cloudy for the afternoon. Smoke and haze in some areas, though not quite as bad as last week. A high of 81. Right now it's 79. Thunderstorms developing later tonight. Some of those may be severe. A low of 70. Scattered showers and thunderstorms for Tuesday morning. Otherwise cloudy for the rest of the day with a high of 85. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Coming up at 2 o'clock on JR Afternoon, we'll get you the latest with the U.S. and Iran. Are the bombs still flying or are they back at the table? Plus, election interference claims. We'll take a look at those and the Tigers in action as well. We'll see you on Monday.
The 20 at 760 WJR, and with that very topic we were just talking about with the wildfires, and believe me, I'm angry about them too. But President Trump is threatening sanctions on Canada over the wildfire smoke. I'm going to check with Dennis Darnoy, founder of Denzar Consulting. I'm wondering, Dennis, good afternoon. Has the president first offered to help by sending equipment or firefighters to try to help put the fires out? Do you have any idea, Dennis?
Well, I don't think that he has extended that offer just yet. But the truth of the matter is back in 2025, we did come up with an agreement with Canada that allows us to do cross-border firefighting and wildfire protection. So there is something that does exist. And it's they signed a new MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, in June of 25 to do this. Now, the president was with the prime minister all day yesterday at the World Cup finals. So hopefully, while they were enjoying that, they actually addressed this issue and maybe came up with some solutions.
He keeps claiming that this has been a problem, and it has. We've dealt with it before. But he calls it willful negligence. Becoming a yearly occurrence, costing the United States billions of dollars, which the cost of this pollution must of necessity be added to the tariffs Canada is currently paying. And he said he's going to talk to Mark Carney to find out what they're going to do about it. Quote, "We're holding Canada responsible for the fact that they are not properly maintaining their forests." Now, they deny that, and unfortunately, they fall back on the easy bugaboo of global warming or global climate change or whatever the latest is they call it. A little hard to justify if you aren't, in fact, getting rid of the brush and taking care of the problems in your forests. But be that as it may, that's what we're hearing. But what I said just before you came on, Dennis, is look, if they had an earthquake or a hurricane or some other natural disaster, the United States, I hope, would step up to help them. So why not in a situation with the wildfires?
Yeah, and again, it's very true, and we have to be careful because wildfires in California and the Pacific Northwest has already sent smoke into Canada, this year as well. So when the president talks about willful negligence, he's got to be very, very careful with that because that argument could be thrown back in the United States' face. And it is, but there is a serious point to this where 3 out of the last 4 years we have dealt with something like this. And where wildfires have blown into the Midwest and the Northeast, and that affects around 115 million Americans and exposing them to hazardous air from these fires. So there is an issue, and I think there's two really not short-term but longer-term solutions. First of all, the U.S. and Canada does have an air quality agreement going back to 1991, and that was created after the acid rain disputes in the 1980s. Certainly, they could amend that agreement to include the particulate matter, the pollutants in these wildfire smokes, which would then put some real teeth behind violations of that. The other thing that they could do, is and going way back to 1909, and no, I wasn't around for that, but there was a joint commission between Canada and U.S. to, it was called the Borders Water Treaty Act. And back then, water was a huge issue. And so, the lakes and the rivers and canals that cross the United States and the Canadian border was a real kind of bone of contention. Well, you could do something very similar and create a structure like that would allow us to have, joint firefighting capacity, joint investment in forest management and fuel reduction, some type of cost sharing formula agreed to in advance to fight these things, because again, unfortunately, we send some bad air and they send bad air to us. So there are real solutions that can be pursued, given that this is probably something we're going to see in consecutive summers.
Dennis Darnoy with us, founder of Denzar Consulting. We hear from our U.S. ambassador to Canada and frequent guest on the show, Pete Hoekstra, describing the wildfire crisis as a shared challenge requiring cooperation between the neighboring countries, highlighting the exchange of information and emergency resources as fires continue to burn. There are those arguing that Canada has not invested enough in wildfire prevention measures such as prescribed burns and fuel reduction, although wildfire experts generally say no single strategy can eliminate the risk posed by the increasingly intense fire seasons. There you are. Guy, another question real quick, because I just like to bounce things off you, Dennis Darnoy, and that is, the president is now saying, because somebody leaked, that this new super-duper Air Force One gifted to us didn't have all the security systems on it, which is why the Secret Service asked the president to fly one of the old planes because of all of the equipment they have on it. Well, the president is now saying we're going to take the Air Force One out of service again for upgrades, and it's going to be, quote, maxed out after those security concerns were raised about its defensive capabilities. Here's my question that I haven't heard anyone ask but me. We're talking millions and millions of our dollars have gone into this free jet. Why in the world is it taken out of service and put in President Trump's library when he leaves office in 2 years? I mean, I don't get that. Why doesn't it stay property of the United States of America since we put all this money into it?
Well, we have seen past presidents, and then obviously this one as well, who've taken items during their presidency and looked upon it as something as a personal gift or something that is their personal property. And at some time, a couple times they store things in their garage next to their nice cars, and other times they find themselves in a box, in Mar-a-Lago. So I think his attitude or his thought is very consistent with where he was.
That was very interesting, the way you worked all that in there without actually saying it, Dennis. That was beautiful. But my point is, yes, okay, yeah, presidents have claimed things. They were personal gifts. But then what about the millions and millions and millions of taxpayer dollars that have gone into retrofitting it? And I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. I'm just saying, how do you then decide to walk away with that?
I'm 100% behind you on that one, but have you looked at our budget and our deficit? No one really seems to care about what it's costing us and future generations.
Well, I can't argue with you on that one, Dennis. That's for sure. All right, it's Monday, and it already seems like a Friday. But, Dennis, you have a great week ahead of you.
Thank you. You do the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis Darnoy, founder of Denzar Consulting here at News Talk 760 WJR. Man, I am still fighting the smoke, and my nose is running, and it's a pain. So I do want something done about this. Doesn't automatically mean we punish Canada. We first have to try to help them just to get the fire out if we can. And then we look at their programs and see if they're doing the right thing or not. Probate is bad. It's slow. It's expensive. It's completely public. But the good news is you can avoid probate entirely with a revocable living trust. A revocable living trust keeps you in control of the who, the what, and the when. Who receives your assets, what assets they receive, and when they receive them. And when your assets are properly owned by or payable to the trust, you bypass probate and protect your family from the delays and costs that come with it. At Estate Planning Legal Services, their attorneys walk you through every step. They'll help retitle your assets at no charge. And if you need any changes in the future, they're free for life for their clients. With more than 25 years serving Metro Detroit families, they know how to make the process clear, affordable, and stress-free. Get the peace of mind you deserve. Contact Estate Planning Legal Services today for your free consultation. Learn how revocable living trust can work for you. And I had a great meeting with Jeff Sharp. I'm telling you, these are good people. Call them at 248-435-0400, 248-435-0400, or go to EPLSPC.com. That stands for Estate Planning Legal Services PC.com, EPLSPC.com, or call them at 248-435-0400. You'll be glad you did. 1230, 760 WJR.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first, but when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
I'm John James. A few years ago, they called me a fearmonger when I warned about socialism and communism on the rise. Well, here we are. Socialist radicals are taking over the Democrat Party you used to know. And Michigan is ground zero. Now our healthcare is unaffordable. They're twisting the minds of our children, letting illegals vote and steal our Medicaid. They sympathize with terrorists. They say the most important thing they can do is take America down from within. As a West Point graduate and a former U.S. Army captain, I have a word for that: treason. Socialism's not just on our doorstep, it's inside the house. Republicans need a strong, tested leader who will first kneel and pray, and then stand and fight for Michigan and for our republic. I'm John James. I fought evil abroad with an Apache helicopter so we wouldn't have to fight it here. But now that it's come, we will put on the full armor of God and defeat it right here in Michigan, together. Paid for by John James for MI.
Jim Harper here, and I want to talk to those of you who've been caring for your folks. Maybe because of their age or health, they need a little extra care, so you visit them often. Maybe they're living with you. But if it's time for them to get quality professional care, I've got a tip for you. Rose Senior Assisted Living in Farmington Hills. I wish I'd known about Rose when Lynn's mom was with us. Doctors told us she needed more care than we could provide, and that's what Rose Senior Assisted Living has been doing. Cool apartments that are modern and clean and full of bright, cheery staff and residents. They'll have people attending all their needs, doctors available, and the food is first class. Call Rose at 248-522-2460. Set up an appointment to check them out. You will be impressed. They're on the web at farmingtonhills.roseseniorliving.com. Rose Senior Living, assisted living. Feels like family, feels like home. That's farmingtonhills.roseseniorliving.com.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Catch Jamie's journey. Jamie Edmonds and friends bring you stories of triumph over adversity.
Now I want to bring in Wendy Henning, clinical oncology social worker. You gave me a little takeaway about worry, but I don't think the worry is serving me.
If you have checked off all of those lists and it's not serving you in any way, it's not helping move you forward, acknowledging your worry, understanding and recognizing that it's normal, try and let it go. And you might have to do that every hour.
Jamie's Journey, Thursday nights at 8 on 760 WJR.
We'll make it through.
Stream at WJR.com or wherever you get your podcasts. This is Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Well, this whole FIFA thing was that we blew it out of the park. I mean, it was a very successful event. The 2026 FIFA World Cup shattered multiple records. It ended yesterday with Spain defeating Argentina 1-0 or 1-0 or however they say it. If you'd asked me just a couple of years ago if I could ever sit for 90 minutes watching any game with no scoring and still be enthralled, I would have said no. This has changed now. I am a fan. Does this mean I'm going to be seeking out these games and watching them? I can't say that. But I can seek out Jonathan Savage, Fox News correspondent, WJR contributor extraordinaire, and get his wrap-up on the World Cup because I know it'll be special. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello there. Look, I always knew that you guys had it in you. The Americans were no less capable of loving the world's game than anybody else, and I've been proved right all along.
It took us a long time. You grew up with this. We did not. And it is amazing. There's so many aspects of it that I love. I mean,
what do you
let me tell you.
Most?
Well, how about this? 90 minutes. There are no timeouts except for the water thing, which I know they just added kind of the hydration thing. There's no coach calling a timeout, getting the huddle together and telling them what to do. These players are out there basically the entire time making their own decisions, setting up their own plays, and constantly running. It's astonishing to see how much work they have to put into this thing. But then when it's over, everybody sticks around. Even the people who lose, they stick around. It's just astonishing to me. I like the way they bring the kids out on the pitch at the beginning. I mean, they've thought of so many things and they do them so right. I'm very impressed, Jonathan, and I hope we can embrace this.
You talk about all that running. It's not cold. They're running in very hot, humid conditions in this World Cup. They have been incredibly hot, humid conditions. And you talk about the non-stop aspect of it. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why European fans, let's say, hate the hydration breaks, because it interrupts the rhythm and flow, the non-stop nature of the game. The same feeling towards the halftime show, which meant that halftime lasted 27 minutes. That's incredible. 15 minutes is maximum. You get into the changing room, you have some orange, cup of tea, back out there, get on with it.
Cup of tea.
That's how you do it, at least the way I grew up. And, I'll tell you what I love about soccer, just beyond the World Cup. On Friday, I took my kid to an appointment for a passport. So me and my two kids are walking back home from the underground station to my house. That you have to walk through a park. We get to the park. We just see a boy from the school and his dad kicking a soccer ball around. We go join in. Within 10 minutes, there's about half a dozen more people have joined in. We had a random dads and sons soccer game in the park for about an hour on Friday, just totally off the cuff in the sunshine. It was just wonderful. It's just such a unifying thing. And I don't know if there are many other sports that you can just do that. When you're from 5-year-olds to 50-year-olds all playing together.
You're right. I don't think there are any other sports. Now, people said, well, it kind of had a Super Bowl vibe, even better. I don't believe, you tell me, I don't think they're going to adopt that idea of a halftime show in regular soccer. I don't think that's going to happen at all.
Not frequently. Maybe the next World Cup, if Gianni Infantino remains the head of FIFA. Maybe the next time the US hosts the Women's World Cup in 2031. But I don't think this is going to become a regular thing. Perhaps more pre-match shows. The thing is, soccer is it happens so frequently at so many different levels all the time. There's only one World Cup. There's only one World Cup final every 4 years. So if there's a time to do it, it's then. It's not going to become part of the fabric of the game, I don't think, but maybe occasionally. But 27 minutes did seem a little bit long. I think a lot of us, they weren't there to see Madonna or Justin Bieber or Shakira. We were tapping our watches and just checking, how long this was going to go on for.
Right, you are. There reports are out today that they booed the president, but I didn't hear it. I tried to listen for that. Did you hear it?
Well, I was watching in a pub in central London, which was full of Spanish people. And every time the president appeared on TV, there was merciless booing. It was absolutely nonstop. It was full of Spanish people and British people and their supporters. That's the booing I heard. I couldn't hear what was happening in the stadium because I was in a pub.
I couldn't hear it either. Now, what I didn't understand, because I still don't understand the game completely, is how Spain could have had so many shots on goal and Argentina did not. I mean, it was poor Messi couldn't get in the game and show his magic because they didn't have possession of the ball enough.
As a game, the World Cup final was not representative. It wasn't representative of the World Cup, which has been high scoring, which has been all action. You've seen teams take risks and bring the match to life with moments of genius. It wasn't representative of Lionel Messi, who's been one of those people who've brought matches to life with moments of genius. He barely got a kick. And it wasn't representative of World Cup finals because it was the first ever World Cup final where one of the teams did not have a shot in the 90 minutes of regulation time. Spain had 11 over the course of the whole game. Argentina had 0. So it was not a great game. If you'd watched the third place game on Saturday night between England and France, that was also not representative in the other direction. It finished 6-4 to England. I've never seen a game finish 6-4 in my life.
Wow. Well, anyway, I'm sold. I love it. I thought it was great. I hope you thought that overall the Americans handled it properly and with the great respect that we should have.
Yeah, it was. The Americans did a fantastic job. Everyone I know who've been there and come back talked about the warmth of their host. The hospitality was off the charts. So it was a success in that front for sure.
And on that front, it was one of the most successful things we've ever done. The payoff is going to be long term with people going back and telling people like you, Jonathan, and others what a great time they had in America and how great the Americans were. Because the general primary news media, even in our own country, doesn't love America the way these people love America. I love the story of you and your son and going out and playing in the field, spur of the moment. Jonathan Savage, you're the best. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Jonathan Savage, Fox News correspondent, WJR contributor. As we continue on this Monday afternoon at 12:43.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code SAVE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code SAVE. to borrow up to $10,000. Use code SAVE to borrow up to $10,000.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need to get the job done. With fast delivery you can depend on and access to technical product experts ready to help you meet any challenge. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk because you're not sure their coverage is every bit as reliable as big wireless, why not take them for a test drive? For a limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments, just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
We are backstage with our good friend Kathy Verton of Thumb Coast Theaters, who has so much going on in St. Clair. Talk to me about some of these shows and the seasons and the different productions that you have going in.
Footloose will be our 100th production.
Wow.
Which is going to be a lot of fun this summer to do that. And we'll do that in the Boardwalk venue because there will be a lot of energy and projections on the wall, and everybody's going to want to have a cocktail while they watch it.
Of course.
That'll be fun. But right after that, we're doing a show called The Shark is Broken. And it's about the making of the movie Jaws. And that mechanical shark was broken more than it was working. So what do you do when you're on a movie set and you're on downtime waiting for the shark to get fixed? So you get to see Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw, Roy Scheider. You get to see all of the interactions because you're going to want to see the expressions and feel like you're on that ship with them, you know, as they're having these interactions. Riverbank. I had no idea how much talent there was in Metro Detroit. When you have professional musicians, professional actors, you have people who aren't, by definition, professional actors. They're amateur, but they're every bit as good as any professional actor you put on stage. It's spectacular.
Kathy's smile, the passion that you have for this, you will have a good time. Thanks, Kathy Verton, thumbcoasttheaters.com.
I'm Pastor Darren Weiss, CEO of Grace Centers of Hope. One of the best ways we can make a difference in our community is by volunteering together. At Grace, we could use your help. Families, churches, schools, workplaces, everyone has something to offer to serve side by side and bring hope to those in need. Whether you prepare a meal or help us rehab a home, your time will have a lasting impact. It strengthens communities and brings people closer together. Call 855-HELP-GCH or go to gracecentersofhope.org.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Emergency vehicles blocking your right lane on I-696 westbound at DeQuinder. Traffic is stopped from 11 Mile. Steer clear of a wreck on Schaefer Road north of Ford Road. And we've got some construction on the Jeffries westbound between Levan and I-275. That's blocking your two left lanes. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Still have an air quality alert in effect until midnight. Cloudy for the afternoon. Smoke and haze in some areas, though not quite as bad as last week. A high of 81. Right now it's 79. Thunderstorms developing later tonight, a low of 70. Scattered showers and thunderstorms for Tuesday morning. Cloudy for the rest of the day with a high of 85. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
I didn't see the fighting after the World Cup either, so I missed stuff. I'm just telling you. Here's something I don't want to miss. Information, help from the people we are blessed with that are on the air on the weekends. You can find them online as well. And on this program from time to time, it's the Inside Outside guys. It's Chuck Bridenstine and Ken Calverley. They're heard statewide on the Inside Outside Guys radio network. And, of course, right here on WJR, 10 a.m. to noon, Saturday and Sunday. And I said to Mike Parsons, would you get a hold of the guys? I want to find out what this smoke, we know what it's doing to us. My nose is running, my chest, I'm coughing, my eyes burn. But what's this smoke doing to the appliances in our home and our outside appliances like air conditioning units and such? So we're asking the expert, Chuck Bridenstine. Hello, Chuck.
Paul, how you doing? It's good to be with you.
It's good to be with you. And though you and I enjoy a fine cigar once in a while, we're not inhaling it and we're not around it, hours and hours and hours at a time. But this smoke is bad.
It is bad, Paul. It's a interesting dynamic, and I don't think it's our new normal. I think it's a isolated event that we're going to have to endure for a little while and get past it.
Well, I'm a big believer in clean water and clean air in our homes. So whether that's a whole house water filtration system, if they have a good one out there, I think cleaner water is better for your appliances that the water runs through in your house. And air filtration systems, I think, are important. But what is that smoke doing to those, for example, the outside units of our air conditioning? Is it doing anything?
It's interesting you say that. When you see those numbers, the air quality index, from 0 to 500, and they've got us in the maroon up at 500. It really depends on what they're sourcing as the primary pollutant, because there's like 5 or 6 different ones that they look at. Everything from ground level ozone to carbon monoxide to lead and nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide. Now, if you get a heavy concentration of the sulfur dioxide, for instance, over time, it could affect the finish on your automobile and maybe the circuit boards on a condenser unit like the air conditioner outside. But the biggest thing is if you keep them moving, keep those things moving and clean, then we really probably don't have any risk, for the 5 or 6 or 7 days that we're going to be exposed.
All right. Well, that's important to note. And it takes a little load off our mind. Some of the other obvious things about keeping the smoke out of your house is keep the windows closed, keep the doors closed. But what about your system is bringing in outdoor air.
Yes.
They say turn off the outdoor air supply. Outdoor air is often brought in by an energy recovery ventilator that can be switched off independently. Well, they've got me lost on that.
We've written articles on that, Paul, so you can go to the Inside Outside Guys website and download those to talk more about ERVs. But Here's the thing. Your house, we would like your house to be under a positive pressure, kind of like the inside of a blown up balloon all the time. But normally, it's actually under a negative pressure where it's kind of sucking air in because of exhaust fans that we run and the furnace running and the air conditioning, just things that literally push air out of the house. So we want to put ourselves in a position where we don't shut those off, because the house is going to suck air in either through gaps and cracks in the windows or through outside air intakes that usually come in to the cold air return in the furnace. Even a well-installed ERV will do that unless it's just a room ERV. So if we're bringing that outside air in through the cold air return, it has to pass through the furnace filter to get into the rest of the house. And that's what we want to do. We want to filter that air.
I'm seeing a note here: run bathroom and kitchen exhaust fans only as needed. They end up pulling outdoor air into other parts of the residence. If you have a portable air filtration unit like a HEPA air purifier that removes particles from the air, run it on high. When do we wait for all of this smoke to clear, and no pun intended? Do we wait for the smoke to clear, and then should we change all of our filters on our furnaces that draw in the air for the air conditioning?
Ken and I were talking about this weekend a couple times, was specific to that, where you want to move the air of the house constantly. So your furnace thermostat should be turned to on, not auto, so that blower motor is running constantly and it's forcing the air in the house through the filter. And then you've got to have a good filter. You've got to have either a HEPA filter or a MERV, M-E-R-V, 8 or better rated filter, because that will take out minute particulate down to 1 micron, which of course it's particulate in the smoke produces that particulate.
We lost a part of what you were saying. MERV 8 or better because of the particulates, and then it kind of dropped off.
I'm sorry. So a good filter is going to take small particulate down to 1 micron, which is extremely small. I mean, it's a fraction of a period on a piece of paper. And in that smoke, we have all this particulate, right, that we're breathing.
Right.
So if we can force that air in our house to go through that filter and be trapped by the filter, we're more likely to be breathing cleaner air in the house.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Anything else that you might add? We've got Chuck Bridenstine, co-host of the Inside Outside Guys, with his pal Ken Calverley. They are a blessing to us. Every weekend you can hear them on WJR, but heck, you can hear them statewide on the Inside Outside Guys radio network. But here on WJR, 10 a.m. to noon on Saturday and Sunday. And it's a blessing to have you guys, and I mean that. Any other suggestions or information we should have?
You know, if you're finding that you're reacting to that, we advise people to stay in or use a well-fitted N95 mask with discs that can be replaced in the mask, not the piece of junk stuff that they were giving out free 4 years ago. Sorry,
don't sugarcoat it. Hey, Chuck, don't sugarcoat it. Tell us how you really feel.
Well, you and I could swap some stories on the back deck up on Lake Huron, Paul. I'll tell you about.
Yeah, the terrible thing is we'd be talking about pollution while we're smoking a cigar.
Well, you're right. You know what's funny about this? I was up north for a couple of days last week during this heavy concentration.
Yeah.
And I did 2 25-mile bike rides, and I was totally unaffected because the particular material that's in the air wasn't bothering me. But if you are bothered, that you want to stay in, you want to circulate that air, you want to clean that air, and if you have to go out, you want to have a really well-fitted,
good N95 mask, not the junk. Chuck Bridenstine, co-host of the Inside Outside Guys with Ken Calverley, heard statewide on the Inside Outside Guys radio network, right here on WJR, 10 a.m. to noon on Saturday and Sunday. Thank you, my friend.
God bless you, Paul. You guys take care.
God bless you, and you guys take care as well. As we continue on this Monday, Relentless Positive Radio, on your way to making each and every day count on WJR.
This is Mark Snethkamp of the Snethkamp Automotive family. We've served Michigan customers for over 100 years. We opened our first dealership in 1926. 4 generations later, Snethkamp is still the name to trust when buying your next new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram. Visit us during the Make This the Summer Sales event, happening now at one of our 4 locations: Highland Park, Gaylord, Midland, or Redford.
Snethkamp, Metro Detroit's original. Snethkamp.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by:
Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org. For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
These days, it feels like everything costs more, and healthcare is no different. But what many people don't realize is that rising hospital costs, prescription prices, and more people needing care all affect what Michigan families pay. That's why Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan is ready to help by lowering drug costs, focusing on preventive care, and improving quality while reducing unnecessary costs. Because affordability matters to everyone, and progress is happening. Learn more about what Blue Cross is doing to help at mibluedaily.com/affordability.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
Another ship attacked. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The British military just reporting a second ship attacked in the Strait of Hormuz, this time off the coast of the United Arab Emirates, despite a ninth straight night of U.S. strikes on Iran.
President Trump told Fox News last week that if Iran doesn't reach a deal, strikes will escalate this week to hit power plants and bridges. Iranian officials have indicated that some new proposals are being discussed.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. President Trump just posting every time Iran kills an American soldier, they'll pay for that killing many times over. This after 2 confirmed deaths and a third suspected in Jordan on Friday and a fourth casualty in Iraq over the weekend as Iran keeps attacking Gulf neighbors. The co-founder of an infamous Mexican drug cartel is sentenced to New York City to life in prison.
Ismael El Mayo Zambada's sentencing in Brooklyn federal court marks an end to the U.S. government's years-long fight to bring the Sinaloa cartel co-founder to justice. He was arrested in 2024 and is accused of plotting murders and ordering torture as he and his co-founder Joaquin El Chapo Guzman grew the cartel into the world's largest drug trafficking organization. Prosecutors say they flooded the U.S. with tons of cocaine, fentanyl, methamphetamines, and other drugs.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers, the 76-year-old Zapata pleading guilty last year, Guzman already serving a life sentence. The government, a suspected target of what happened earlier today outside a federal building in New York City, where a man's accused of setting off an incendiary device.
The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force is investigating this as an anti-government attack. Smoke was billowing outside the federal building in downtown Manhattan, where ICE offices and immigration courts are located, as well as the New York City FBI field office. The FBI says 2 people are injured from this attack.
Fox's Nate Foy, the suspect, was taken into custody. Sources now telling Fox he had anti-ICE things on him. America is listening to Fox News.
Today is Sparky Anderson's Catch Golf Classic at Red Run Golf Club, sponsored by the Greater Detroit Toyota dealers. For nearly 4 decades, Catch has been dedicated to improving the quality of life for pediatric patients and their families at Children's Hospital of Michigan and Henry Ford Hospital. Through special fundraising activities and the development of a board-designated endowment fund, Catch provides for children whose special needs might otherwise fall through the cracks. You can learn more or donate by visiting catchcharity.org.
Auto accident that wasn't your fault. Michigan law says you may be owed up to $3,000, but your window to claim it is limited. We'll help you get that money completely free.
Only at Michigan Auto Law. Auto accident attorneys. Visit 3kforfree.com.
Join Jamie Edmonds filling in for Ryan Armani live on JR Afternoon from the Tournament of Champions at Boyne Mountain this Thursday and Friday from 2 till 4 p.m. Sponsored by Boyne Golf, home to Michigan's Magnificent 11. Visit BoyneGolf.com.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
You're hearing Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Hour number 2, all set and ready to go here on News Talk 760 WJR. We thank you for choosing to be an important part of the best and brightest audience in all of radio, as you're on your way to making each and every day count, because each day is a gift. This is the day, we shouldn't forget this, July 20th, 1969, that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were the first people to walk on the moon during the Apollo 11 mission. Actually, Neil Armstrong was the first to step onto the lunar surface, followed shortly after by Buzz Aldrin. And Neil Armstrong had I don't know, I should have asked Danielle earlier to try to find it. Danielle, try to find the audio. It should be somewhere in there where you can Google the audio of Neil Armstrong as he set foot on the lunar surface. I was watching it. I was in high school. No one else on my team was alive yet, but I was in high school, and I remember watching it. And do you know, Mike, Danielle, Rich, to this day, there are people who don't really believe these guys landed on the moon.
Right. They think it was done on a soundstage or something.
They think
so
it
we
was
could beat
a
the
Hollywood,
Russians.
Yep, a Hollywood presentation, showbiz, and it wasn't real. I knew people who believed that at the time.
You know why? Because people put more work into being crazy than you do living in reality. So they have a story with a whole bunch of made up evidence, and even though they're wrong, you can't beat them in an argument about it.
I love that. You say that again. People what?
People put more work into being crazy than you do living in reality.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Danielle
That's really...
did find the audio, I believe.
Did find it?
Yes.
I want it.
One small step for man. One giant leap for mankind.
That has been doctored. Because now this is confusing because this was a long time ago and I was in high school. I probably was already on the radio, but it wasn't as important. But he said on that tape, that's one small step for man, one giant leap for whatever he said.
Mankind.
We believe at the time he actually misspoke and said that's one small step for a man and one giant leap for mankind.
Right. Either that or like the audio dropped out when he said a man. But yeah, I think
they either doctored that tape or what I can tell you this. You can find it printed both ways as what he said.
I think
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think that tape Danielle played was actually the one that was manufactured in a Hollywood soundstage.
That's probably it. All right. So anyway, today's the day. We should remember it, even though people don't talk about that stuff very much anymore. That's what we always talked about. That was a big deal.
Right. It's worth mentioning.
I think so.
Especially because we did beat the Russians to the moon.
Well, I never even... that was not a big concern for me.
Mm.
I mean, I don't remember it being.
Maybe the space race was like a bigger deal afterwards than when it was actually happening.
Maybe, I don't know. So we find out that the FDA, with a budget of millions, somehow blamed Taylor Farms for the cyclospora lettuce. Excuse me, I'm still dying from the smoke here.
Pick your poison. Paul, you could either have cyclosporiasis or you could be coughing up a lung because of the wildfires from Canada.
I think it's the wildfires still.
Is that your orifice?
Citrus orange, my orifice, yes. It's a very refreshing drink with nothing bad in it.
Yeah, well, that's good. You need that handy, especially if you're trying not to cough because of the smoke.
So anyway, a false positive, which means we're no further ahead knowing what's causing all this. And for whatever reason, we are ground zero times 10. Over 6,000 Michiganders and even the Michiganians,
right? Both of them
are suffering. And I don't know why. While we were resting comfortably, Republican Mike Cox, all-around nice guy who we just had on last week on the show, dropped out. This advanced information these guys get. I still can't believe Mike Duggan dropped out.
Right.
I mean, that was so long ago. But here you have people have voted for Mike Cox in the early voting. Does that mean you use the right term? I was very proud of you. Do they go into their Secretary of State's office and spoil their mailed-in ballot and start over? Can they do that? Do we know? Who do we call and ask?
It's a good question. I'll figure out who to ask. But I know that Mallory McMorrow, when she dropped out, I don't remember which newspaper wrote it, but they had
a local newspaper.
Yes, they had a step-by-step on how to spoil your ballot, but I don't know when that cutoff is.
I don't know how it works at all.
And then, if you're overseas, then I guess you're out of luck.
Well, you are.
Yeah,
indeed. If that's why you did your ballot. Yeah, it's tough. It's there's all kinds of reasons not to have this happen,
Yeah, I think
this
Mike
advanced stuff.
I think
in the mail-in ballots and all that stuff.
Right. I think Mike Cox said that the reason he dropped out was because John James got the Trump endorsement, even though they were close in the polls. But Trump's had such a success rate with his primary endorsements that he dropped out and put his support behind John James.
Whatever the reason, I mean, it is what it is. Now, Taco Bell has been hit with federal lawsuits over the cyclospora infections, and yet we just have been told the FDA blew it on saying it was Taylor Farms lettuce.
Right.
And Taylor Farms are the people who provide the lettuce to Taco Bell.
Well, and those lawsuits were filed last week, back when we thought it was Taylor Farms. So my guess is that these lawsuits probably aren't going anywhere now until we actually figure out where the cyclosporiasis came from.
When do the lawsuits from Taylor Farms suing the FDA begin?
Right.
Because this has destroyed their business.
Right. Because
I've as much said they should be out of business because they were the ones that did the little sliced onions at McDonald's.
Well, and here's the thing. You're going to see the story. You're going to see the story that was Taylor Farms a lot more frequently than you're going to see the retraction.
Absolutely. That's so well put, because that's the way it always is. Yeah. That's why we also don't see any of the mainstream media singing the praises of when gasoline went down as much as it did. But man, oh man, are they jumping all over it as it goes back up again.
Right.
Have you noticed that?
Yep.
That's disgusting. And it's an embarrassment of the mainstream media, which we are not a part of it. By the way, I don't understand this. Logan Paul claims he's suing Tom Brady over slap at 2026 Fanatics Fest. What is that about?
I think it's some kind of publicity stunt. There is some kind of event that Tom Brady and Logan Paul were at, and there's some video of Tom Brady slapping Logan Paul. Logan Paul's in the WWE, and
he's that guy that fights all the old people.
No, so that's his twin brother Logan, right, Danielle? Okay. Danielle will help us straighten this out.
Jake is into boxing. Logan is in WWE. Jake is the one more important than Logan. Bigger than Logan.
Jake is the one that fought, the AARP lineup of people.
Like
Correct.
Tyson. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. So Logan feels left out. So he's now supposedly suing Tom Brady over a slap. That's not Brady-like.
I was going to say, it seems beneath him.
It's not Tom Brady-like.
I mean, even like slapping him for real, but also a publicity stunt doesn't seem like a Tom Brady type thing.
No.
So the only thing I can think of is maybe they're going to be doing something with WrestleMania, WWE, because Las Vegas is one of the rumored places that next year WrestleMania is going to take place. So maybe that's what Tom Brady is doing. But again, it seems beneath him.
Yeah, it does. Whatever. Let's get back to business here and something very, very nice that's been going on for years and years and years. I don't know which number catch golf outing this is, but it's a lot. It's been going on a long time. And Sparky Anderson knew what he was doing when he hooked up with Jim Hughes, who has been a fabulous man in carrying this through. He's the executive director of Catch, the charity for children. Today is the Catch Golf Classic. And we will speak to Jim Hughes from Red Run Golf Club in Royal Oak up next. You know, a lot of folks are going to need to replace their roof this summer. But be forewarned, there are roofing companies out there that skip over the most important part of the roofing process, the attic ventilation. You see, if your attic doesn't have proper air circulation, it can cause problems such as mold and wood rot, leaks in the winter. Not to mention, summer attic temperatures can reach as high as 160 degrees or higher. That's going to cause your AC to work harder, and you know what that means, higher energy bills. This is one of the reasons I like to recommend Victor's Home Solutions to my listeners. Their process begins with a thorough inspection of your attic. They know that if the ventilation isn't right, the roof will be built on a shaky foundation. The first step in the Victor's process is a 21-point roof inspection that includes a very thorough inspection of your attic and attic ventilation. Every Victor's roof comes with a well-thought-out attic ventilation plan. That's why they can offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. Not only do they have the best installation crews in Michigan, but they also make sure the roofs they install are going to last because the ventilation will be right. Couldn't be happier. I am so happy with the two roofs Victor's put on for me. Yes, I was a paying customer. You call for your free roof inspection and estimate today at 866-VICTORS. That's 866-VICTORS. Of course, you can book an appointment online simply at victors.com. Victors.com, or call them at 866-VICTORS. 866-VICTORS. You will be glad you did. 116 at 760 WJR.
The Mackinac on Michigan Show, a monthly podcast where Kelly Cobb and Jarrett Scorup tackle the issues Michigan residents are thinking about. Each show takes a deep dive on the issues that affect every resident and business owner in the state. Hear from special guests in politics, business, and academia. What will you need to know? Find out on the Mackinac on Michigan Show podcast on thegreatvoice.com. The Mackinac on Michigan Show is presented by the Frank Beckman Center for Journalism at thegreatvoice.com.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of acid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
If you haven't switched to Pure Talk because you're not sure their coverage is every bit as reliable as Big Wireless, why not take them for a test drive? For a limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited data plan. No contracts, no commitments, just a great deal on a high-speed network with unlimited data from an American wireless company. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Quick story. I needed new glasses. And like many of you, I thought, well, I can go online. That's easy. But then I remembered the last time I did that, it wasn't easy. They didn't look good on me and they weren't cheap. So then what? You can't take them back to the store. It's the web. Then I remembered Direct Optical Optique. Many of you got your glasses there. You looked great and had a wonderful experience. And that's what I remembered, the experience. I remembered Mariana, Frame Stylist of the Year, and how great she and her staff were at helping me find the right frame at a good price. And that's all we want, right? And they have two great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple in West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to the IKEA. Go see Mariana at Direct Optical Optique. She still knows everybody by name. 3 generations of loyal customers for a reason, because you get the attention you deserve. Direct Optical Optique in West Bloomfield and in Canton, and at OptiqueDetroit.com.
Today is Sparky Anderson's Catch Golf Classic at Red Run Golf Club, sponsored by the Greater Detroit Toyota dealers. For nearly 4 decades, Catch has been dedicated to improving the quality of life for pediatric patients and their families at Children's Hospital of Michigan and Henry Ford Hospital. Through special fundraising activities and the development of a board-designated endowment fund, Catch provides for children whose special needs might otherwise fall through the cracks. You can learn more or donate by visiting catchcharity.org.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phone, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance, and cover your furry friends with pet health insurance.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
We've got some emergency vehicles blocking your right lane on I-696 westbound at DeQuinder. Traffic is stopped from 11 Mile Road there. I-94 westbound between 8 Mile and the Lodge. Some moving roadwork blocking your right lane. That's going to be there until 2:30 this afternoon. And taking a look at the northbound Southfield Freeway between Ford Road and I-96, we've got some slow traffic from Michigan Avenue due to construction blocking your 2 left lanes. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Still have an air quality alert in effect until midnight. Cloudy for the afternoon, smoke and haze in some areas, but not quite as bad as last week. A high of 81. Right now it's 79 degrees. Thunderstorms developing later tonight, a low of 70. Scattered showers and thunderstorms for Tuesday morning. Cloudy for the rest of the day with a high of 85. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Tuesday on JR Morning, we'll find out who is trying to make this a midterm hate election. A Eucharist procession through the streets of Detroit, and gas prices, well, they're going up again. Will there ever be any relief? Right here on WJR, WJR.com, the always free WJR app.
Of course, Lloyd, there was relief where gas got down under $4, but no one really talked about it in the media too much. Now it's back up, and they're certainly talking about it. I think this is close to 40, maybe the 39th Catch Golf Classic. The guy who's been there from the beginning, because he was there with Sparky Anderson when Sparky started it, Sparky could not have picked a better guy than Jim Hughes as his executive director of Catch Charity for Children, which stands for Caring Athletes Team for Children's and Henry Ford's Hospitals, founded by the late Detroit Tigers great Sparky Anderson, I guess 1987 or so. Jim Hughes, you've done a marvelous job, and I hope it's going beautifully for you today.
Thank you, Paul W. It's always great to hear your voice. And it's a spectacular day. The weather's great. The field is full. First run is immaculate. It's just going to be a great day. And the bottom line is it's for the children.
And you just had your second flight go off about 22 minutes ago, 1 o'clock.
Well, yeah. But they're out there now. And it should be another spectacular round. We have so many generous sponsors who support this thing. It's amazing.
Well, you do, but it's because they can trust you and know how hard you work year round for these children's charities and the Catch Charity for Children. And so when they believe in you, they step up, and they have been stepping up for, is it 39 years now?
Yes, 39 years. Can you believe it?
I cannot believe it, but God bless you. That's incredible. Sparky knew what he was doing when he put you in charge. Let me ask a quick question, because I was reading over this stuff. Can people still bid on auction items online?
Yes, they can, and we're going to keep that open all day and into tomorrow, and 2:00 tomorrow afternoon, we'll close that.
Oh, okay. So is that the catch 2026.givesmart.com?
And if that doesn't work, they can go to the Catch website, catchcharity.org, and look at events, and there's information in there, a click and bid.
That sounds easy to remember. Catchcharity.org. And one of the unique items, a bid for 2 playing spots in the 3-day 54-hole Lexus Champions for Charity National Championship, December 9th through the 13th in Pebble Beach. How cool is that?
That's a spectacular package. We had that Lexus. Mead Lexus is one of our sponsors of that, along with a couple hole-in-ones. And they did that for us 2 years in a row pre-COVID. And then they came back and they're doing it again. And that's a great partnership with them, and along with the Greater Detroit Toyota dealers, who are our presenting sponsors.
I was going to say Toyota is very generous with you. Yes.
Yeah, always. First it was corporate, now it's the dealers, the Greater Detroit dealers, and they've been spectacular helping us out over the years.
Well, God bless them. They used to help me with my golf tournament. Toyota is as an American a company as you're going to get for a company that isn't American. They're very American in Ann Arbor and everywhere else. They put their money where their mouth is. They built a lot of facilities here to build their cars here. So good for them. God bless them.
Yes. And I got to tell you real quick, Paul. I appreciate your compliments, but this is a team effort, starting with our board, our chairman, Jim Berline. The board is active. They're passionate. They get involved. They roll up their shirt sleeves. They help bring in sponsors, auction items. We have a tremendous golf committee. Kathy Brennan chairs that now. And we've got about 18 people on that committee. And they really do a lot of work. It's a great team effort. And then all of our volunteers, my goodness, we have a waiting list for volunteers. That's how passionate people are about this charity and children.
That is phenomenal. Kathy Brennan's one of my favorite people, as is Jim Berline. My gosh, he's been chairman forever.
Yeah, we don't tell him that. we tell him it's like 3 or 4 years, and he goes, okay, I'll do another year.
It
No problem.
seems like it's been longer than that, doesn't it? It sure has been.
What's really interesting, I think, about this charity, and you don't see it very often, is in 39 years, we've had 3 board chairmen and 2 executive directors. So there was one before me for a short time. And then, but I was involved in the beginning because I was working with Henry Ford Health Systems, Henry Ford Health now, in public relations and marketing. So I kind of got involved on the ground floor, and it's been a labor of love ever since.
Well, what you do is spectacular, dedicated to improving the quality of life for pediatric patients, their families at Children's Hospital of Michigan and Henry Ford Hospital. And it's an ongoing series of special fundraising activities, the development of a board-designated endowment fund. And we will never forget, Catch provides needy children whose special needs might otherwise fall through the cracks. And I can't imagine how proud Sparky Anderson would be to see that this thing has lived 39 years under your great leadership. He would be, wherever he is smiling broadly.
Yeah, and you know what? Ever since he passed away, a member of the Anderson family has been here to support the golf outing. And I'm sitting with one of his nephews right now, Danny Palazzotto, who was on with Marie
I was
earlier.
going to say, I think I heard him on with Marie earlier.
Yeah. And he comes out and he represents the family, and he even resembles Sparky, or Uncle George, as he calls him. And everyone likes to see Danny Boy show up.
Well, Danny should try to rehearse doing what Uncle George used to do when he was on with JP, clearly still in bed after a nighttime game, and he would talk to Joe like this. Joe, we got more hits and pitching. I'll never forget listening to that, going, I can't understand what he's saying. But it didn't matter. It was Sparky Anderson saying it to J.P. McCarthy many, many, many years ago.
Yeah. 2 legends. Indeed.
Indeed, he do. And now you're a legend as well, Jim Hughes.
Well, I tell you, like I said, we couldn't do it with all the support we get from the corporate community. And WJR has been there since we started. And
tried to be. I used to broadcast out there at the golf course.
Yeah. Yeah, we were out at
The morning
Meadowbrook
show.
for all those years. Yes.
Yeah.
We were the only ones there, if you remember.
I do remember. It was dark and nobody else was there. And I kept saying, shouldn't a later show be doing this when there are people here? Keep up the good work. Have fun, Jim Hughes. And catchcharity.org and take a look at some of the things that you can bid on through tomorrow. That's a great idea to keep it going like that. I'm glad we could give a heads up. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks so much. See you in the village.
All right. Very good. Jim Hughes, Executive Director, Catch Charity for Children. Today's the 39th annual Catch Golf Classic. 129 WJR. Well, Dr. Saul Kogan at the Nerve and Disc Institute can help you enjoy summer to the fullest with his non-surgical, non-invasive treatments for severe and chronic back, neck, and knee pain. Intra-disc neutrosis helps people with spinal stenosis, bulging and herniated discs, sciatica pain, and degenerative disc disease avoid spine surgery. And Knee Restore RX helps those with osteoarthritis and meniscus tears avoid knee replacement without shots, pills, or downtime. Here are real words from a real patient. I quote, "My intradisc neutrosis treatment for 2 badly herniated cervical discs worked and kept me from having to go under the knife, which 5 out of 6 surgeons had advised. It's allowed me to keep skiing, sitting, lifting, biking, and more. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Nerve and Disc Institute." End of quote. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to call them. I want you to mention WJR in this month of July and get a consultation, exam, X-ray or MRI review, and laser treatment for just $49 for your first visit. Consultation, exam, X-ray or MRI review, and laser treatment, just $49 for your first visit when you remember to mention WJR. The Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and now Bad Axe. Call them at 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472, 586-416-DISC. You will be so glad you did. And so will your family. They don't want you to be in pain either. 131 WJR.
Hi friends, Bill Gowling here. And when you see or hear fireworks this July, that's us celebrating 60 years of the Gowling Automotive Group. With the addition of Gowling Chevrolet on Michigan Avenue in Wayne and Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Mack in Detroit, now even more of you can see and experience the Gowling difference. Those dealerships join our Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram locations in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, and Roseville, Gowling Alfa Romeo and Fiat in Birmingham, Gowling Buick GMC in Lake Orion, Gowling Toyota in Warren, and Gowling Kia in Madison Heights are always at Gowling.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Get a $20 gift card after rebate with the purchase of a select AC Pro ready-to-use refrigerant kit at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For many retirees, changes to interest rates could mean your lump sum options will reduce. Choosing between a lump sum and monthly pension options, like all retirement decisions, shouldn't be an emotional decision. It's a math problem. Most people and professionals are doing the wrong math. Hi, I'm Kirk Cassidy, lead instructor for the Retirement Education Foundation, a charitable program, and the co-host of the Retirement Education Hour, heard here Saturday, 6 a.m. and 1 p.m. A complete retirement plan should guide every major decision in order to maximize efficiency. If you want to retire early, spend more, and reduce your anxiety, join us for our near master's level 8-hour retirement education courses where we have taught tens of thousands of families with assets between $1 to $20 million. To register for a course or watch updated webinars, visit refedu.org. That's refedu.org. Classes are held at major universities in Michigan and Missouri. $29 tuition goes to charity. Courses are sponsored by the Retirement Education Foundation, a charitable program.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Scrolling with Haley. Join Haley Caronia as she scrolls through the biggest headlines.
If you haven't watched this show before, we do blind reactions. I have not seen these videos, so I am seeing them for the first time with all of you. We're going to implement the tinfoil hat time segments and all the stuff you know and love. And I'm going to finish the show and answer some of your questions. Someone asked me what made you get into podcasting, and I was producing podcasts for other people. Then I was like, I could do this for myself, and here I am.
Scrolling with Haley. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
760 WJR has your tea time to listen into the excitement of the 2026 Rocket Classic. Here's Tournament Director JR Sunday's Mark Hollis.
Pittsville Next is going to come out. We've got some DJs that are going to come out. We're creating this space towards the end of play. There's going to be a hole-in-one contest that fans can actually take a shot at a hole-in-one, play the 9, and win some prizes from Rocket and things like that. We have more space for fans to watch the action. We've opened up some area around the 18th green, so there's more space for fans.
Our coverage begins Sunday. Tournament starts Thursday. You'll hear all the highlights here. The Rocket Classic, a Detroit gem on 760 WJR.
This is Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Doron Levin, freelance journalist, born in Israel, served in the Israeli military, all-around good guy and dear friend for many years, is on the other end of our line right now. We have to catch up with him on a couple of things. First, the incredibly sad news of at least 3 American service members, 2 in Jordan, 1 in Iraq, killed in action. Apparently, 1 remains missing after Iranian attacks over the past few days, according to U.S. Central Command. Now, this is our 9th consecutive night of attacks on Iran. I do not understand why they're doing such controlled attacks that Iran can then strike back. But Doron, maybe you have a thought or two on that. Good afternoon.
Well,
welcome back.
First, good afternoon, and thank you for having me back, Paul. First of all, we mourn the loss of our service members and grieve with their families. That's number one. And number two, I think that the real issue is the question of how strong our responses are. I think we've been pulling our punches for a while now because we're afraid of, we meaning the United States, are afraid of a wider conflict. And that's a reasonable caution. But I think that we're also in a conflict with an intractable enemy that basically is not going to lay down its arms unless we make it very clear that the price that they have to pay is unacceptable. And we haven't really made that clear yet. I'm not sure whether that's because of the elections that are coming up or because of rising political opposition in the Democratic and the Republican Party. But when you fight an intractable enemy like Iran, which has intercontinental ballistic missiles, and wants to finish off Israel first, and when it's done with that, finish off the United States, I don't see why we're pulling our punches.
I don't either. I don't understand this president who keeps saying, "Oh, they're done. They don't have this. They don't have that," and then more people die, or planes are shot down, or any number of other things are happening. What is he?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what to say.
This is a lot of this is bluster and rhetoric, and that does play a role sometimes. But I think we've gotten past the point where people understand that they have not been obliterated as we said they were in the first place, and they need to be, or they need to understand that they're going to pay a price that they're not willing to pay if they continue to attack us, if they continue to work on an atom bomb, if they continue to work on ballistic missiles. These are not idle problems. These are problems that will face us down the line and face future generations, and we have to confront them now.
Central Command is saying this is the 9th consecutive night of attacks on Iran. If we have 9 consecutive attacks on Iran, there shouldn't be any Iran left. I do not get it.
Well, what the experts are telling me is that air power alone isn't really going to do the job. What's necessary is boots on the ground, and that's a big political decision for this country and for the leadership of this country as to whether they're willing to take that step. But I think at the end of the day, we've seen in modern warfare that air power alone really won't do the job. You need boots on the ground, and that would mean more American lives at risk. And the question is whether the country's really ready for that.
I would not put boots on the ground. I would carpet bomb every square inch of what we have known in the past as Iran. But I need to ask you another story.
Sure.
Scratch your head with me and tell me what in the world is going on when you have a mayor of the city of New York, Mamdani, threatening to arrest a world leader, Netanyahu, when he comes to New York, I guess for the United Nations. I mean, what's the thought process other than trying to set it up so that other countries can arrest our president when he goes to other countries?
Well, I'm afraid what we're witnessing is the radicalization of the left wing of the Democratic Party, and you don't have to go all the way to New York. You can look at it here in Michigan. I have to say that I hope everybody who's listening to me now will get their ballots out if they're sending in a ballot, or whether they go to the voting booth on August 4th and pull the lever for Haley Stevens, because she's up against somebody whose name I won't even mention, who really reflects the whole mindset of things like 9/11, September 11, 2001 is something we deserve, that Hamas is something that Israel deserved. There's a radicalization on the left part of the party, which really threatens to break the Democratic Party in half. And we can stop it if we pull the lever for Haley Stevens on August 4th. So that's my plug for her.
Well, I have to agree with you on that. I mean, the way this thing is traveling like a cancer across the country is just astonishing. And there's going to be a lot of pain and suffering if they are successful in doing what Bernie Sanders has dreamed of happening in these United States. It's going to be misery that's going to affect all of us. Those of us who didn't invite this or don't want it at all are still going to suffer. In fact, we probably will suffer the most. I appreciate you checking in with us, as always, Daron. God bless you.
God bless you, and thanks for having me, Paul.
Daron Levin, freelance journalist, born in Israel, served in the Israeli military, all-round great patriotic American, and a dear friend. Well, it was not really a well-kept secret. Warde Manuel is stepping down as the athletic director by the end of the year, but we've got the very latest from Matt "The Miz" Missler, co-host of the M Zone, weekdays from 3 to 6 on our sister station, the Big 1050 WTKA in Ann Arbor. Matt's up next here with Paul W. Smith in Focus.
Hey, Jim Harper here. Like many of you, I got LASIK surgery back in the 80s, and recently I started having trouble seeing, and it turns out they never told us LASIK doesn't last forever. So now what? Glasses? I haven't worn glasses in years, and I'm as vain as the next person. But then I remembered Mariana and the staff at Direct Optical Optique and how great they were at finding cool frames that look good on me. because they are frame stylists. You can't get that on the web or a big box store, and nobody has a bigger selection of designer frames than Direct Optical Optique. And Mariana still knows everybody by name. She's still selling cool glasses one pair at a time with a very personal touch. So if you wear glasses now or are wearing them again, you got to go to Direct Optical Optique and let them treat you like a star. They're the only ones who can do that. 2 great locations, Haggerty Road north of Maple and West Bloomfield, and in Canton on Ford Road next to IKEA. OptiqueDetroit.com on the web.
Your sign is your company's calling card, your identity, your brand, and your first impression. The experts at Identicom Signs provide complete turnkey signage solutions, handling every detail from design and permitting to fabrication and installation. Whether you're a restaurant, retailer, healthcare provider, or other commercial business, Identicom Signs can help elevate your company's image. If your brand needs freshening up, visit IdenticomSigns.com. That's IdenticomSigns.com.
Recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
You know, Michigan summers mean outdoor adventure and fun, but high temperatures shouldn't break your budget. Count on Consumers Energy to help make the most of this season and your budget with tips and ways to save, making small changes like shifting some energy use to the morning or evening, raising your thermostat a couple of degrees, doing laundry at night or on the weekends, all can help lower your bill while keeping your home comfortable. Discover more ways to beat the heat at consumersenergy.com/summer.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
O'Reilly.
Help increase your vehicle's performance with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system can increase performance and fuel economy. Simply add it to your tank at your next fill-up to eliminate carbon and varnish deposits. Get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for just $9 plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And now, a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you can save at Progressive.com.
Join Kelly Cobb and Jarrett Skurup along with special guests as they tackle the issues Michigan residents are thinking about on the Mackinac Michigan Radio Show Wednesday night at 7 p.m. They take a deep dive on the issues that affect every resident and business owner in the state. What will you need to know? Find out on the Mackinac Michigan Show Wednesday at 7 p.m. The Mackinac Michigan Show, sponsored by the Frank Beckman Center for Journalism and the Mackinac Center for Public Policy.
Catch School Talks with Dr. Robert Livernoy.
This week on the program, we'll take a deep dive into what happens in schools while kids are home for the summer. Jen Hubel from Clark Construction.
Parents rarely walk through school buildings, so they're not aware of the existing conditions that are happening within buildings. So we're here to help tell that story about why we want to help improve these schools for students.
School Talks, Sundays at 3 on WJR. WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds?
Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
We've got some slowdowns on I-94 westbound between 8 Mile and the Lodge. Moving work crews will be there until 2:30 this afternoon. US 23 northbound between Michigan Avenue and I-94. Looking a bit sluggish due to construction. You're slow from Willis Road. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Still have an air quality alert in effect until midnight. Cloudy for the afternoon, smoke and haze in some areas, though not quite as bad as last week. A high of 81. Right now it's 79. Thunderstorms developing late tonight, a low of 70. Scattered showers and thunderstorms for Tuesday morning. Cloudy for the rest of the day with a high of 85. I'm Rich Luzensky, WJR Traffic and Weather First.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Well, there's so many crazy things going on. We're having dinner with some friends tonight, and they said that the Taco Bell people had been there and set up the salad bar. So we should be in great shape for dinner. Well, are you guys listening to me at all? Hello? Is this on?
Say?
Hello? I just said that we're having dinner with some friends tonight, and they let me know that Taco Bell has stopped by and set up the salad buffet.
We were Googling the dog. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, you can see the dog here. And by the way, that's Haley as well. Holding
Paul,
the dog.
you're telling us that your daughter brought her dog over to dog sit. And daughter-in-law, I'm sorry.
Right.
And you were telling us about the dog. So we weren't listening because we were Googling what type of dog it was.
So, Haley, get close to the microphone. Say what it is again.
Aussie Labradoodle.
Aussie Labradoodle.
It's a big sweetie.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
She's just so very nice.
We got to get you a dog, Paul.
I would love to have a dog.
Yes.
Kimmy, can I have a dog?
Are you going to walk her?
So sorry we missed your Taco Bell joke, but we were distracted by dogs.
All right, okay. So anyway, they really did they did send that message. I'm not going to identify them to protect the innocent. Matt the Miz Missler, co-host of The M Zone, weekdays from 3 to 6 on the Big 1050 WTKA in Ann Arbor, our sister station. Matt, I don't think we've met before, but what a pleasure it is meeting you.
Well, I say the same to you, but I think many more of your audience would be more intrigued with your step poodle or your step dog that has come to your house there.
That was
I think it's dog-in-law, technically.
Dog-in-law.
Oh, dog-in-law.
Dog-in-law. That was unexpected. Well, I'm Paul W. Smith. Nice to have you here because I know you have the bottom line on the worst kept secret ever that, in fact, Warde Manuel is on his way out. What do you know?
It kind of seemed like this was getting to a crescendo point over here at Michigan, especially from not this past weekend, but the weekend prior, with a report of, that with the regents meeting that was taking place up in Traverse City, that one of the talking points could be Warde Manuel either being bought out or let go or just his future in general. But I think the regents had kind of, I know Thursday there was a report that said that it wasn't on the docket, so to speak, but I think they're also waiting for the results of the investigative report, which some of it came out today, and just kind of it did seem like it was happening, but I think a little bit too that this was also something that Warde probably, I don't want to say he mummed over, because when we had him here at our studios last Tuesday, he was under the belief that he was going to be with Michigan until a decision was made. But I think with the report that came out today, it almost kind of spelled a little bit out right there.
Are there any major surprise? Well, first let me say this, Matt. I don't know how you feel about it, but you got to be kidding me. This investigation cost over $12 million. Couldn't you and I have done it for a lot less?
you probably could have paid me about a fraction of that, and I probably could have come up with the same amount of information potentially.
It seems like it.
But yeah,
anyway,
it does seem ridiculous. An investigative report of that costs $12 million plus, that it basically led us right back to kind of where we were at before the investigative report came out.
Right. Any shocking news out today?
Not really. I mean, for the most part, I guess with some of the bullet points that they had in the review in terms of the culture, there was no surprise that Ward does care about the athletes and their graduation rate, and he does understand that at the end of the day they are student athletes. That the student part comes first and foremost. That you want to get that degree, and you're an athlete second. So it's understandable that was part of it, but I guess it was, to me, I think the part that kind of made you do a little head scratcher was, everything that kind of came about in his tenure, as the latter part of it, the sign stealing, what has been jokes is called Burgergate, all the way up to last December with the Sharon Moore, termination, and then all the legal stuff that came with it.
Right.
I guess a lot of it to me is I was a little surprised that it took this long for anything to be concluded at that point. I think it's probably the only thing that probably is an eyebrow raiser to me.
Well, as you pointed out, we're talking with Matt the Miz Missler of the M Zone on the Big 1050 WTKA in Ann Arbor, our sister station. And I wanted to believe this about Warde Manuel, and I'm glad that the study found and said that Ward demonstrated important leadership strengths, particularly his commitment to student athletes, as you have pointed out. I am so glad to hear that. But there were some weaknesses in there, and there were some times when maybe he should have looked a little more carefully and responded a little quicker to some of the things that were happening. And I don't need to go through the list of what those might have been. Now, where do we go? Do you have in mind somebody that you think would make a great new athletic director for the University of Michigan?
To me, that's kind of a little bit of a tough spot right there, because you're looking for someone that's, not just has athletics and, the athletics of the student athlete in mind, but you're also probably going to be looking at someone that also has a business sense in mind as well, especially in the era of NIL, and even trying to keep some of the sponsors around the stadium, or even in our industry in radio, where they're, as far as what is being listed, what's being viewed on the radio or even on television for that matter. So I know that there are some colleagues of mine that were, that they made their recommendations. One mentioned John Beeline, the former Michigan basketball coach. Someone had alluded to maybe Carol Hutchins, the Hall of Fame legendary former softball coach here at Michigan, which those are great ideas. But the other question too comes with it is, do they want to pick up the ball that's now down at the 1 yard line to try to take this into the end zone, to bring up a football analogy here? Or do you look at someone outside of the quote Michigan man, Michigan woman aspect of things? And kind of like how it is with the Red Wings, I would not be surprised that maybe you look outside of the University of Michigan stuff. And
if there are questions of cultural problems, that does make you lean toward the idea of bringing someone else in from outside the culture, if you will.
Correct. And that's the part that I kind of look at too. I don't think he would pick up it would be the position, but a good colleague of mine, in media, but I don't know how much he really wants to pick up, but John Bacon comes to mind as well too. He's been with the university. He's had his thumbprint on the university, whether it's writing books involving the football program in the past and in the present. But other than that, I think you're going to be you got to look for someone that can juggle the 30 plus, close to 40 athletic programs with the university, all the student athletes from top to bottom.
Ms.,
and also
what it's like
NIL.
when we hit the clock.
Yep.
We've hit the clock. Thanks for your help. Matt the Miz
Absolutely, Paul.
Missler
Thank you much.
from the M Zone. Stand by for Ryan Armani. Regards, Paul W. Smith.
Now WJR Health Watch. Here's